Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our Watchmen Season 1, Episode 2 Thoughts video. I just finished watching the latest episode of Watchmen. I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts on this episode. In this episode, we see that Sister Night is investigating the murder of the captain, and she finds some unsavory truths about him potentially. This episode was really fun. I'm really digging this HBO series. I like the vibe of it. I like the themes we're getting. I like the story so far. I like that they do not hold back on the gore and stuff in this one. And this one was just as good as I think as the first episode. That's one thing you get into some TV shows. You got a great pilot episode and then you get a little boring in the second episode as they try to catch up to all the setup they had. But this one I thought was really kind of great job, kind of giving us a little bit more even of the background of this, some of the characters. We see a flashback of the White Night, the night where all the police officers were attacked by the 7th Cavalry that had been referred to. So I like that we got some flashbacks to that, seeing a little bit more context, learning a little bit more about Angela and her family. So I really enjoyed getting that little element, like that kind of being intermixed in this episode of her trying to, figure out what happened to the captain and what kind of secrets he might have been hiding. Some of the other stuff that was kind of enjoyable about this episode that I liked was we see some reporters at the beginning with some robot butterfly thing wings so that they can try, and it's just to try to be, try to sneak into the crime scene and whatnot. And I just thought that was a fun little addition to it. Those are the little details that I love about superhero stuff or like comic book stuff based off of comic books that I like that they include. Just little things like, yeah, why not? Like, why wouldn't the paparazzi try to figure that out if that technology was around? And so I just liked that little addition, that little details, literally 2 seconds of this episode, but they went through the trouble of, adding it to this episode just to give you that vibe about this world. So I really like that little bit of kind of world building we get from that. Another kind of interesting part of this episode was seeing the police rounding up the 7th Cavalry at Nixonville, just kind of with no kind of discrimination about caring, but that was just kind of an interesting kind of scene to see. I just thought it was really well set up, and I just like seeing a little bit of action, so that was cool. What else do I got written down? Oh, there was a Hooded Justice fight scene, which I think is based off like a TV show that's currently on TV in the show itself. But that was still a cool little scene to see, this Hooded Justice character just beating the shit out of some robbers. And again, so gory, this is not appropriate for kids, but I really enjoyed that nonetheless. I thought it was a fun little addition. Wasn't sure if I got his name right at first. I had to look that up. Some of the other things is we found a little bit about Angela's kids and their backstory. They were actually her partner's kids before he did not survive the White Night, and so that was an interesting little detail we got added to it. We also find out that the man in the wheelchair we kind of met at the end of the last episode, that turns out to be Angela's grandfather, which was a kind of little, I don't want to say twist, but it's definitely something I wasn't exactly expecting. It seemed a little too, I don't know, I just didn't think of it. But that was a fun little thing that we'll hopefully explore more in the next episode. Ozymandias in this one was a fun little addition. Very short little scene, but he was putting on his play that he discussed in the last episode, and it's the creation of Dr. Manhattan in a kind of dramatized play, which I thought was just hilarious. They had the blue penis out and everything, and it was just funny. I like this. I like that we're getting shown bits of what the hell's going on with Ozymandias, but without him explaining. Like, clearly he's got some kind of clones or robot I think they must be clones because he burnt up the one guy, and if it was a robot, so clearly he's got some kind of cloning thing going on with these servants of his. So that I'm interested to learn more about, but I like the way that it seems that he's just bored and maybe kind of hiding out and trying to just keep himself amused, and so he makes clones and then puts on plays of his own creation about the creation of Dr. Manhattan. So that was just a fun little scene. Again, these are little details to me that make shows a little bit take it up that next level, them having a little bit of fun with it, not taking themselves too seriously, being able to put a big blue penis on stage. So yeah, that was just fun. And they threw it, he was able to throw in the line, the nothing ends line. So that was our nothing ever ends line. So I really enjoyed that little addition to it. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got in this episode of things that I remembered to write down. But yeah, this was a fun second episode of the show, and I'm very curious to get through some more of these episodes. I'm excited for next week to see some more of this. But what did you guys think of this latest episode of HBO's Watchmen? Did you like it or not? For sure, let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Sure, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.